Courtney, it appears that fire crews are wrapping up here after spending more than an hour on the scene. But as you can see behind me, the home is still smoldering and it appears to be completely destroyed. Now, this is just a temporary fix. The Coyote artist is actually on his way from Phoenix to fix this mural. Mark, this arrest affidavit states the most noticeable feature of the suspect's car was its aftermarket black rims. So with a 20-to-1 exchange rate, 1 peso is equivalent to 1 U.S. nickel. Dr. Tunstall is expecting the value of the peso to appreciate yet again after the election. Pilar Arias, KSAT 12 News. We are following a tragedy out of California. ABC News has learned at least 9 people have died following a massive fire. It broke out late last night at a warehouse in the San Francisco Bay Area. ABC's Alex Stone with the harrowing details. The most recent property value by Bexar County Appraisal District lists this neighboring property at $24,000. This is the empty lot where the brand new homes are going to go. And this neighboring duplex was last valued at $48,000. When San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi was gunned down last Sunday, he left behind a devastated family, as well as a tight circle of friends. As Ursula Perry shows us, they are holding each other tight and sharing why his death is such a loss, not just to them, but to the community.
After the aircraft has come to a complete stop, you will hear the command, remain seated or evacuate, evacuate, evacuate.
Josh Almoite and more than 50 others traveling from Chicago to Monterrey, Mexico, experienced turbulence twice. When their flight couldn't land Saturday due to weather, they were diverted to Houston. Then Sunday, passengers on board SkyWest Flight 5588, operating as United Express, were told they were making an emergency landing in San Antonio.
We were in the area of Monterrey already in Mexico, and then they said that they can't land because there was a landing gear problem, and it wasn't able to. The computer wasn't able to detect that we have the tires on.
Josh started recording on his phone. He and many others grateful San Antonio fire crews quickly ready to assist.
The tower advised us that all the landing gear was down, so the plane continued to burn a little fuel. It landed, everything held until a ways down the runway, and the nose gear of the plane collapsed.
People would think that it's not as serious because there was no explosion. But when you are inside the plane, actually, you can't do, you don't know what to think about. You're just scared. You're just there, and it's happening. It was surreal.
Everyone was assisted off the plane safely. The incident left runway 4 near Wetmore Road closed for several hours, while mechanics were dispatched to inspect the plane. SkyWest is conducting a full investigation into what may have caused the nose gear failure, and Josh is hoping his video might assist. SkyWest did work with United to provide an additional flight to Monterrey. When I spoke with Josh, it was right before they were going to board again from here. He said the airline fed them pizza. Myra? There's not a single trick-or-treater on Sunrise Creek Drive. Hours earlier, 3 men were shot outside this home. Just over 2 weeks ago, police arrested 2 teenage boys here in connection with a carjacking and chase that led to a standoff.
Much better?
Tessa Collins has only lived in the area for a few years.
They used to call it, gun race?
She's not letting the criminal activity in her neighborhood stop her from passing out Halloween candy.
I asked her, it's for the kids. We gotta keep it up for the kids.
Thank you. These kids are celebrating the holiday just a few blocks away from the crime scene. But safety is on a lot of people's minds.
A man who saw the victims told me it appeared that they were all teenagers, and an officer on scene said they're all expected to be okay.
Crime happening everywhere, but I guess when it hits this close to home, it's disturbing.
While investigators continue to piece together what happened, officers are in search of a small black SUV that had 2 men inside at the time of the shootings. Police are familiar with this home and the block. Back in August, 24-year-old Anthony Harrison was gunned down at the house directly across from Monday's triple shooting. SAPD Chief William McManus is considering options to deter crime.
I'm worried, but I trust in the good Lord and everything will be okay.
All 3 shooting victims were brought here to SAMC and are recovering tonight. The police calls we requested today for the home where the triple shooting happened included assault, disturbance with a gun involved, narcotics, and much more. Reporting live on the northeast side, Pilar Arias, KSAT 12 News.
State Senator Jose Menendez and State Representative Ina Minjares are preparing to file a bill called David's Law. It's a day Matt and Maureen Molak and those working with David's Legacy Foundation have been eagerly awaiting.
We don't want this happening to anybody else, and that was our goal in starting this foundation and going forward with this.
Back on January 4th, David Molak was found hanged to death in his family's backyard. His family says the 16-year-old took his own life after being personally attacked by a group of students on several social media sites and through text messages.
There's so much more to do. Depending on how well we do in Texas next year will determine what our next steps are. We're already talking about going to the national level and working with some of the social media app companies.
If passed, David's law would require school districts across the state to have cyberbullying policies and notify parents of bullying victims or the suspected aggressors.
What this does to me, it gives them the authority to investigate incidents that happened off campus.
It would also mandate districts develop a system, such as an anonymous hotline, to report bullying and threats.
When I was in elementary school, I could go home and the bullying stopped. Now it continues to follow the child 24/7.
Both Minjares and Menendez are open to ideas on how to improve David's law.
We have to do what we can to step up and say this isn't just kids being kids. This is serious.
This is just going to provide a framework, and that the real change is going to come from the students.
David was a student here at Alamo Heights High School when the alleged bullying started last fall. He transferred schools prior to his death. The Molaks will be in Austin tomorrow when Senator Menendez and Representative Minjares file the bill. Reporting live at Alamo Heights High School, Pilar Arias, KSAT 12 News.